Hello lovely crafty friends, welcome to Love Builds Up Crafts. I'm Sasha and today we're going to be making a barrel inspired masculine card. Now I know we all struggle with masculine cards, so I really hope this idea can be of help. So let's get crafty. So I've got this set here from the Makers Movement, which is my new design team. Yay! So be on the lookout for more videos from them. They are an American brand, but you can still get the stuff shipped internationally, so it's still fine, right? So anyway, this is like a beer mug. What I like about this set is that you can do so many other things with it than just like a beer mug. Hopefully during the week I'll be able to like make a video showing you the other ideas that you can use this set for, and if I can't do that, I'll just make like reels so you can catch that over on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, now is a good time to do so. And whilst you're at it, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, shameless plug over. So let's craft. You'll start by taking a bit of craft card, about 3/4 of an A4 sheet, and then I'm just going to score at 1.5-inch strips and then just cut those out. So once I've got my strips there, we're going to go back to our scoreboard and we're just going to start making these random score marks. Make them as imperfect as possible, okay? Just score everywhere. Overlap some of the score marks and come in from the side for some of them. Whatever you want to do, all we're doing is just adding texture to these. Okay, so now we're just gonna grab some inks. I've got vintage sepia and smoky grey, both from Versafine, and you'll also need a nail file and a blending brush, any brand, it doesn't matter. Okay, you're just going to rub your vintage sepia over the top, and then you should start to see all that beautiful score detail that you added, and hopefully this replicates the texture of wood. If it doesn't, activate your imagination. Okay. Imagination is your best friend, trust me. So anyway, once you're done with rubbing the vintage sepia, you're just going to go in with a bit of the smoky gray just in some areas, and then take your blending brush and blend that in so that it's got a bit of a smoother finish, like it's combined. If this doesn't look like wood, guys, it does look like wood. Okay, so now I like this, but this is optional, you don't have to do this. I just like adding some texture or roughening the edges, since we're going for that distressed barrel look. That's what we're going for. So I'm just gonna go around all my edges and just really just distress them a bit, because that will really add to that vintagey feel and also give our wood some character. And once I'm done with that, I'm just going to go over. I first did it with the vintage sepia just to show you. If you like this kind of light look, then use your vintage sepia around the edges, but if you wanted dark and more detail, go around with your darker color, which is the smoky gray. And that's what I did because that's what I like. Okay, so that's how our strip of wood looks like. And if you want to add further detail like notches or like, I don't know, like wood has like loads of weird stuff on it, so just draw in the details. This will also add another feel to your wood to make it really look real, but today I don't care for that, so we're just gonna proceed and do the other 3 strips, and then I'll be back. So I'm just showing you that I did it like a production line. I did all the strips in this same vintage color first, and then I went on to do the smoky gray, and then I filed with my nail file, and then I'm just adding red line tape to all the strips so that we're ready to stick them down. Okay, so all our strips are done now. As you can see, I'm just grabbing a 5x7 piece of card. It's just a panel, it's not a card base, and that's where I'm going to stick my wood. Guys, that looks like wood. Come on, that's so exciting, right? Like, let's say you even wanted to make like what do you call those doors that slide? Barn door, like a barn kind of feely card, a barn door or barn house. I think that would be so cool, right? So anyway, I'm adding liquid glue as well to the back of my red line tape. because we want these babies really stuck down. What the red line tape it does, it sort of gives it a bit of a lift, but that's not like foam tape, and I kind of like that because it hardens, it makes it feel hard, kind of like wood. Okay. So I'm just going to trim off all the excess. These are all the extra things that you have to do to like get realism. I'm like so crazy about realism these days in my card making. So now I'm taking a black marker just to first cover up any white bits that I see, and then I'm going to run it over the whole line, and that would really give that separation, like where your planks or your wood would be separated. That really just deepens that line. And then I'm just going to cover up that white bit there because of course I slanted my wood. I can never cut in a straight line or stick anything on straight, like seriously, there's got to be a condition. Okay, anyway, our wooden panel is all done. Okay, so this is our base. So now I'm just grabbing a bit of about an A6 sheet of black cardstock and scoring it at 1/2 inch. I just need 3 of these strips. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add embossing powder to it. So what I want to do with the embossing powder, I'm just grabbing my Wow embossing pad there and my hot chocolate embossing powder from Tonic Studios. Now you see, I'm not supposed to use any other brand embossing powders, so don't share this video with anyone from Wow. Okay, so I'm just adding a bit of the embossing ink just to the edges. You don't want too much of it. And then I'm going to pour my Tonic Studios embossing powder. Okay, I'm going to stop mentioning that now. Okay, you know where it's from. Okay, I couldn't find a brown one from Wow. Okay, it's not my fault, guys. Anyway, once you've added your embossing powder, you just want a bit of it, not too much. You saw me using the brush there to remove the excess because I just wanted on the edges, and you can see what that does. It's like it adds like this rusty kind of look to the, because that would be the iron, right, that holds the barrel together, and it's a vintage barrel, so it's got to have some rust or some wear and tear effect. Okay, it's like an old barrel. It's really old. It's like 50 years old. I'm just here aging. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and add some liquid glue to that. I have added red line tape to this as well so that it gives us that bit of a lift, and then I'm gonna go ahead and stick these down as straight as I can. This is a challenge. I know you're gonna say get a T-ruler. I have a T-ruler and I still can't make it work, guys. I just can't stick anything straight. So once I've trimmed off the excess, this is what we have. We have a barrel. I was actually going to like do it in the shape of a barrel, but then I was like, no way, that's not even necessary. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just grabbing a pencil there and shading just under the iron bits because this is meant to like replicate tar. I don't know, sometimes barrels have like this sticky tar on it, so I wanted to add that. So that's what that was. I just shaded it in and then rub it over with my fingers and you've got tar. Okay, so now we're just going to grab our die set, and I wanted to show you how easily it comes apart. I just snapped those 2 bits, and then now I'm just grabbing my tiny fussy cutting scissors and just cutting off the rest, and it just falls apart beautifully. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut all my pieces. I've die cut that outline bit out of some acetate because that's going to be our glass realism 2.0. And then I've die cut that bit from normal white cardstock because that's going to be our actual alcohol. And then I've die cut the cheers sentiment 3 times because we're going to stack it on top of each other. And now we're going to grab some masking tape and mask off the top, and then just cut these little strips that are different widths and put them just down our glass because that's going to be the highlight. And I'm going to start by ink blending some squeezed lemonade onto there. These are distress oxides that I'm using, and I'm just making sure that the edges are really bold and then the middle is lighter. So make sure the edges are saturated with color and then just be lighter towards the middle. And now I'm coming in with some spiced marmalade using my tiny blending brush there. I love these tiny blending brushes. You can really add detail nicely. And the ones I'm using, they're from Alina Cuttle on AliExpress. So anyway, I'm just adding the spice marmalade over the yellow to give our ale that ginger color. It depends what color you want your ale to be, and then I'm just blending in between those two colors just to make a smooth blend. And now finally I'm going to add some ground espresso just to really darken the edges of our ale, because I don't know, ale is like a golden brownish color. I don't drink, okay, so this is purely from pictures of like watching ads or like seeing the Heinekens and whatever. So anyway, once you've added your ground espresso, you're going to remove your masking, and you can see that highlight bit there that I was talking about. So when the glass is like, when light is shining on a glass, it has like a highlight. That's what that's meant to be. So you can just add your froth and leave it like that. But you know, because I can never leave things alone, I'm gonna just grab my pencil and just extend that highlight. So this bit is definitely optional. You definitely do not have to do this, but I'm just taking my pencil and just shading. So I just add some color and then rub it in with my fingers. And what I thought I was doing was extending the highlight, because normally I color with coloring pencils. I was just trying to find like a quicker way of adding detail without having to use my coloring pencils. So I'm just going around the, where there's a line, I'll just go around the corners and just add a bit of shading there with my pencil, just to sort of extend the, like your eye, where your eye is drawn to. I wish I hadn't gone over that with my yellow blending brush, because I feel like that's what messed it up. But anyway, it's still a glass of beer. And I'm just adding some dark brown shading just to deepen the color there around the edges. And then I'll take my glass bit that we cut out of acetate and score at about 2 centimeter gaps, so like 3 lines really. And this is just to add that extra detail that you might find extra, but I say do it anyway, because you know, like the glasses, they always have like these designs. So that's what I was trying to do. And then now I'm just adding glue. So because it's acetate, I want to add the glue like how my frost will be, because then I'm going to disguise it that way. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense. I'm drawing on these frost things, and then later on, that's where I'm going to go ahead and add my frost with the glossy accents, because that would disguise the glue. Even though the glue dries clear, it's still like shiny, so you can still see that there's a patch there. So we're gonna go ahead and add our glossy accents, and that's going to be our frost on the glass, but also going to disguise our glue blobs. So I'm going to add some foam tape to the froth there, and then I'm just sticking it to the top and adding those little bubbles there. So I went ahead and figured out the layout for the card, like how I want to place all my elements, and then I'm just adding our little jewelry, the gold pearls from Lucy's shop, before I stick anything down. And then my camera decided to stop filming, and I didn't notice until when I was editing, and I'm like, oh, but where's the footage? So I'm just showing you the finished card here, and then I'll show you the important things that I think you need to see how I did that. Okay, so this is our card, and you can see the all the little details that we did to make it look like a barrel. It's just, guys, these things make me happy. Okay, the little details really do make me happy. So I'm just talking about the froth there, and that it's like bubbly and it's got a nice texture to it. So I'm going to show you how I did that, and then you can also see how I added the frost to the glass there. So I took the froth die cut and added a layer of Nuvo white crystal drops. I'm using blue there so that you can see what I'm doing, but I used white for the actual thing. I then left it for about 15 minutes so that it gets tacky, and then I'm just going to use the tip to add dents and like swirls. So you're just using the tip of your Nuvo drop. So you're not adding any more Nuvo drops, you're just using the tip to sort of like disturb the Nuvo drops because they dry clear and flat, but you just want to add texture to it. So you just make dents and swirls. You can pull it up, push it down, whatever you want to do, and that's how you get the frothy bubble texture. So the longer you leave it to get almost dry before you disturb it, the better the effect that you get. And for the frost, you're going to use your Ranger Glossy Accents or your Nuvo drop morning dew. That's the one that dries clear, and you're just going to draw these like blobs or like drips. I don't know, there's no word to describe it. I just do a circle and then I just pull the tip of that circle down a bit. Like, that's just how I do it, and it looks like a drip, or it doesn't, but you know, it gives us that frosty look. So this is the finished card. Okay, and thank you so much for watching thus far, and I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to like and then hit the subscribe button as well, and then share this with other people, because there are plenty of people who struggle with masculine cards and this is a fun idea to try.